so we could restore I-95 to its full capacity here in Northeast Philly. Throughout construction, the traffic continued to flow. I want to thank the dedicated men and women of the building trades. They are aces, who work continuously, 12-hour shifts since the collapse, to restore this critical corridor. Our federal partners, FHWA, have been with us every step of the way, ensuring the completion of this critical repair could happen without affecting our existing construction program. Special thanks to Secretary Buttigieg and FHWA Administrator Shailen Bhatt, who we'll hear from in a minute. Their participation and support was indispensable. Our partnership with the City of Philadelphia throughout this process has been so important. I have nothing but the best of things to think of and say when I think of every member of Philadelphia government on every level. And I'd also like to thank the people of Philadelphia and southeastern Pennsylvania, who've been incredibly patient over the past year as we've worked to complete these repairs. There's so many people to thank, and I'll at the end try and list a few that without skipping anybody. But first and foremost, I want to bring to the podium Shailen Bhatt, the FHW administrator, who was his team was so indispensable. The Pennsylvania division were aces. Shailen.
So it is, thank you, Secretary. And on behalf of President Biden and Secretary Buttigieg, it is an incredible honor to be here today. I do want to reflect on the fact that this did start out as a tragedy for a driver who lost his life, a tragedy for the family of that driver, and it was a tragedy for the people of North Philadelphia, the city as a whole, the region, and quite frankly, the Northeast corridor. In fact, on that Sunday, I was home with my daughters making them breakfast, and I was seeing the images on TV, and my phone started ringing, and I remember one of my daughters saying, "Oh no, they're stealing Daddy again." And so across the board, this has been such a huge impact, but often at times of tragedy, we see we sow the seeds for incredible accomplishments. And I just cannot recognize enough the efforts of PennDOT, the City of Philadelphia, SEPTA, all the men and women who came out here and worked around the clock. The fact that the world was transfixed by a camera mounted up here, watching it in real time. I mean, you know something really bad has happened when people are watching a bridge be rebuilt. And I would say to the people of Pennsylvania that unfortunately this has been a real season of bridge tragedies across the nation. And in my role as the Federal Highway Administrator, I've seen bridge incidents in California, in Connecticut, and obviously Baltimore and the terrible tragedy there. But I will tell you that every time I'm dealing with one of these now, people are using the efforts of Pennsylvania around the I-95 bridge as a benchmark. I cannot tell you the number of times I've heard, whatever you all did in Pennsylvania, that's what we want to see here. Now, obviously, we can't apply that in Baltimore. It's a very different disaster scale. But this idea that when disaster strikes, the federal government shows up with support and funding. The state government is there with ingenuity and know-how. The locals are there to say, hey, we got this, and the private sector shows up along with labor to say we're going to get this built in record time. And so I am incredibly, it's my incredible honor to be here, and I would say that you all have set a very high bar for the next time that, even though we don't want anything to happen, tragedy strikes, the efforts of Pennsylvania and the resilience of Philadelphia are resonating across the nation. And with that, I do want to turn it over to the other Mike Carroll to come up and say a few words.
Yeah, the administrator's probably getting tired of these Mike Carroll sandwiches he's finding themselves in here in Philadelphia, but we'll take it. We'll take it, yeah. Good morning. I am Mike Carroll, the Deputy Managing Director for the Office of Transportation, Infrastructure, and Sustainability in the Park Administration. And Mayor Parker does regret that she's not able to attend this fantastic celebration this morning with you all today, but she did want me to say on her behalf that we thank Secretary Carroll, also our good friend, Administrator of FHWA, Shailen Bhatt, and all of our other partners whose laser focus on getting this work done has made the city of Philadelphia, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and our whole region shine so brightly, as the administrator said, as the whole world was transfixed on what's going on here over the past year. So, of course, we want to thank all of the people involved, our friends at District 6. It was great to see Lou Beaumont come out of retirement for today and join us, but also our friends at the Streets Department, the Philadelphia Police, the Office of Emergency Management, SEPTA, PWD, and all of those who worked so hard to manage the disruptions that the Secretary talked about and kept the city on its feet through the whole construction process. We want to acknowledge all the contractors, especially Buckley Construction, all of our fine local contractors, and of course, the men and women of the trades who made this happen, who carried the weight of this on their shoulders, showed such tremendous dedication and professionalism throughout the whole process. So this is the culmination of a fantastic achievement, and I want to make it clear that while the achievement is manifest in the concrete and steel behind me and all up and down I-95 in terms of the physical infrastructure, Mayor Parker wants to emphasize the institutional infrastructure that made this possible as well. Anyone who's heard Mayor Parker, whether on the campaign trail over the past year or in her time as mayor, has heard her put a special emphasis on intergovernmental collaboration. It is the center of her mission here as mayor. So the mayor considers it a tremendous privilege to find real partners in Governor Shapiro and in President Biden who share the focus in cutting through the crosstalk, cutting through the red tape, and getting meaningful work done on behalf of our taxpayers. In restoring I-95, we found the secret sauce in delivering the infrastructure people expect and they deserve to go about their lives. The mayor's one request is that once we are done celebrating here today, we get right back to work and figure out how to put that sauce in a bottle so that we can continue to do projects all around Philadelphia and all around this region on behalf of our residents. That way we can continue delivering results on all of our projects to support safe and efficient travel and build access to opportunity for all Philadelphians. Again, on behalf of the mayor, thank you, and we are very proud to be your partners.
Next, Senator Jim Dillon. Senator.
Good morning, everyone. I am State Senator Jimmy Dillon, and a year ago on June 11th, I had some plans to coach my youngest daughter's basketball team, and later that afternoon, attend my oldest daughter's grade school graduation. I received a phone call from the governor's office early that morning, and the question I was asked was this bridge in your district? And with my eyelids still half closed and all, my answer was, what bridge? And the rest is history. You know, I didn't get to coach my daughter's team that morning, but rest assured, I made it to my oldest daughter's graduation, or as I would explain to the governor when he arrived, Governor, I have to get to my oldest daughter's graduation, or there's going to be another natural disaster here in Northeast Philly today. When I arrived on the scene that day, it was something I'll never forget. You could feel the devastation that had set in. The fact that a tanker engine was underneath the rubble and the collapse was just mind-boggling to me. I immediately start to worry and think the worst. Just like everyone else's reaction, I thought this is going to take forever. But then I was introduced to Transportation Secretary Mike Carroll. Mike was out here working tirelessly, gathering information, connecting the dots, and initiating a masterpiece of a game plan that even included fans from the Pocono Raceway. I asked him personally, hey Mike, when are you going to head home? And he said, when I see cars drive across this road. I met guys like Rob Buckley, who from the moment we met, I knew would share a drive and a determination to get things done. He has engineered this operation from start to finish, not only dedicating his time here at the I-95 project, but going above and beyond for the Northeast community. He participated in our I-95 town hall. He visited civic and community groups with us, as well as made sure he supported all of our local small businesses. And then I started to think and remind myself of how lucky and fortunate I am to represent the labor unions and the Philadelphia building trades right here in southeastern Pennsylvania. We have the best labor force in the country, and by standing here today, in less than 1 year, it certainly proves it. These blue-collar workers have worked day in and day out on this project and are the true heroes and the reason why I fight endlessly to make sure that they receive their proper wages, their resources, and their tools when I'm in Harrisburg. I'm also thankful that I am part of a great team of elected officials here in Northeast who never blinked on making this dream a reality. It's been a blessing to work hand in hand with Councilman Mike Driscoll, with Representative Pat Gallagher, with Transportation Chair Ed Nielsen, not only here on this site, but on a daily basis throughout our time here serving Northeast Philly. I want to thank you all for your leadership and your commitment to serve. Under the leadership of Governor Shapiro, our immediate response to this tragedy was Senate Resolution 136, which I introduced on the 20th day of last year. We were able to pass the bill through the legislation in only 10 days. This made it possible to extend the emergency resources to the recovery efforts and ensured work was able to continue without delay, ultimately leading to a swift and safe repair. This effort received unanimous support in both the House and Senate, and this is the type of teamwork that led by example that we've seen throughout this whole process. The ultimate factor in all that we have endured, and the one constant you could always count on, was the resilience and perseverance of the Northeast Philadelphia community. Whether it was our police precincts providing top-notch security and safety, our first responders for always being accountable and on the scene for support, or even our small business owners, some who are here today, who came together in a time of need to offer assistance and help. Northeast Philadelphia knows how to overcome adversity. So I stand here today as a proud elected official representing Northeast Philly. I am thankful to work with so many great people, both in Harrisburg and here in the district, that share the same work ethic, the same drive, competitiveness, and the determination to get things done. Today marks a great example of what federal, state, and city-level partnerships can do when we all work together. Thank you, everybody, for your time. And next, I'm honored to introduce SEPTA's GM and CEO, Leslie Richards.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here as part of the infrastructure and transportation team of southeastern Pennsylvania. To Governor Shapiro, Secretary Carroll, the men and women in our building trades, the Buckley Project team, Chairman Nielsen, Chairman Driscoll. This is a great day for our city and state and for the transportation network that we all rely on. We can probably all remember where we were. You've heard speaker after speaker tell you where they were on that Sunday. I was with a friend from kindergarten who I hadn't gotten together with in well over a year and had to cut that visit short. To be here together less than 1 year later to mark the full reopening of both ramps to this vital interstate shows what we can do when we work together. This was an unprecedented challenge, and I'm proud of the way our frontline personnel mobilized and answered the call, as they do every single day. SEPTA responded immediately with additional regional rail service in the weeks following the incident, as commuters sought alternatives to congested roads in and around the area. This emergency reminded us all how interconnected our transportation network is and how indispensable SEPTA's service is for the region's mobility. I know the Governor, Secretary Carroll, and our legislative members understand the critical role that SEPTA plays, and we're grateful for your efforts to make sure SEPTA can thrive and that we can be here for our city and region and show up the way that we want to. on routine days as well as in times of crisis. So thank you so much. And right now, it is my honor to introduce a big personality on this project. I think everyone knows who I'm going to introduce now. Someone who I have been working with for decades in a variety of roles that I've been honored to have. So without no further ado, Mr. Buckley, please come to the stage.
Little change of plan. Ryan Boyer could not make it. It's going to be Butch Bennett first, and then Mr. Personnel will be up next.
Good morning. My name is Butch Bennett. I'm an assistant business manager to the building trades, assistant to Ryan Boyer. Wayne Miller is our president of the building trades. First, I'd like to say I don't want to forget why we're here. We're here because a gentleman lost his life. That's so important that we not forget that. Second of all, I'd like to thank Governor Shapiro, hands-on the minute that he got the call. I'd like to thank our president, President Joe Biden, for stepping right in when somebody else probably wouldn't have. I'd like to really thank, from the bottom of my heart, somebody I used to work for when I was an operating engineer, and that's Rob Buckley. But more importantly, I'd like to thank the men and women of the Philadelphia building trades who are standing out here that did this job in the heat, in the cold, in any kind of weather. They performed. They performed so well where there was people doubting the 12 days, let alone under a year. Understand what you are witnessing back here. This doesn't happen, but it happened with the Philadelphia building trades. They are the best, not in the country, they are the best in the world. I challenge anybody to go to any one of their training sites to see how these men and women are trained. We also have our business manager, Mark Lynch, in the crowd, Jimmy O'Mara from the Teamsters. These men that are in charge of the building trades, I work with them daily. They are hard-working men for their members. That goes unseen, that goes untold. Since they gave me this platform, I'm going to let you know that they hard-working people. We're on the phone, not at just 3 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Sometimes we're on the phone at midnight trying to make sure that the men and women that you see in these hard hats that perform this work got jobs. So again, I take my hat off for the men and women that perform this task and any other task that the building trades have their hands on, and I'll turn it over to our president.
Thanks, Butch. Our main concern as the building trades was, number one, get the job done. Number two, we had another concern, our community. We all live in this community, and the thing is that them 12 days hurt this community. So the Philadelphia Building Trades got together with the leadership of Ryan Boyer, and what we did is we urged people to go to the businesses in this area. We went to hoagie shops and had bought hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hoagies to keep them going. We went to Sweet Lucy's. We went to a lot of places. We're not only people that think of just ourselves. We think of this community. We grew up here. We coached the teams here. So we had an added interest in getting this done. But to tell you a little bit about, we had a legislative conference. Our National Building Trades meets in every year in April in Washington, D.C. So every business manager, every business agent, all the delegates from the whole country are in Washington, D.C. for our NAP2 convention. They did a piece on 95 for 5 minutes. The people in the hall, there was more than 5,000 people in the hall. The place went crazy at the appreciation of what the Philadelphia building trades can do. And what was also important there is the people from around the country can appreciate in Philadelphia, we have the best skilled workers. We have the best trained workers in the country. And I want to say one thing is that when you have people in leadership, you have the governor, you have the mayor, Jim Kenney, you have the present mayor, you have all these people, and Mike Carroll putting things together. Everybody can put things together, but they did something a little extraordinary here. They put something together and got out of the way and let the people that know what they're doing do the jobs. You know, the thing is, to give you an example, I go into a diner. People think I built 95. I didn't build 95. I'm a pipe fitter, okay? I can know the first thing about this. But the people here, all these guys here, come on up here. You deserve everything. Not me, not the business managers, everybody here. We love our members. They do their job. They don't complain, they just do it. And, you know, the thing is, Philadelphia is indebted to you for the rest of your life. This will go down as one of the greatest projects that was ever done here. 12 days, a major highway was shut down. Only 12 days. And that they did the repairs, the infrastructure, in less than a year, and never shutting down 95 after that. That's virtually impossible. Even the people in the trades couldn't believe it. But because of these people, of what they've done, it's remarkable. And the thing is, they did it without a complaint. They did their job. You never hear of it. But they never get the recognition. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy to represent you guys as the president of the Philadelphia Building Trades. And you'll live in infamy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now's the moment you've all been waiting for. All right, don't believe any of these politicians said I did the whole damn thing myself. No, in all seriousness, it's hard to believe we rebuilt this highway in 12 days. Some people don't understand what happened. Cashed in every favor I could. I've been a construction worker for 48 years, and I've never had the support that I've ever had between the state, the federal. I really appreciate that, and you're right, we did it. Somehow we get it done, and like the governor said, we get shit done. That's why they hired us. Also, I'd like to credit the local building trades, all the business managers, the operators, the laborers, the cement finishers, the rodmen, the painters, the carpenters. Everybody was involved in this. Everybody's on my team. I was lucky enough to be the quarterback on this operation, and I appreciate it. The other thing is the engineers, PennDOT engineers, are probably one of the finest engineers you could have. And Harold Windish could not join us today. Lou Belmont Dinbor is here today. You have the city people that are involved, Mike Carroll. You also have Mike Fagan. You also have Maddie. There's just so many people involved. I can't mention them all because they're that good. Just proud to be. I'm also very proud of the Buckley employees. What people don't realize, the first part of this was 12 days putting it together. The other flip side of the coin was they wanted this thing accomplished within a year. Well, really, this is a 2-year job. We were able to compress it to 1 year. That's very difficult in our industry. Just getting materials is difficult. Steel normally takes us about 9 to 12 months just to get the steel for this project. There's many, many people involved in this, and there's just too many to mention. I just feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world to be part of this operation and prove what we can all do together. It's amazing when we all get together what we can accomplish, and that's everybody here. Everybody that's involved in here I'd like to thank for having the support. There's a lot of people that don't know us. I just happen to be lucky enough to be the president of Buckley and Company here in South Philadelphia. We're a local family-owned thing. Another thing I'm very proud of, and this is almost unheard of, we work 7 days a week, primarily on critical items only. So it was not a blank play check. Also, we had 0 accidents and 0 time lost in the time we had in 1 year. Now that in itself, is an amazing task, and that's a testament to the training centers that they're running, the trained labor forces that we deal with on a daily basis. And that goes across the board on those basic trades that I said that we are agreeable to. Well, in closing, I'd like to say one thing. This started out as a tragedy, but it ended up as a testament of American spirit. People that say that they can't be getting done, will get it done. So thank you very much. Thank you for your support. We appreciate it, and have a great day, and we'll see you down on the cab job. Thank you.
I personally want to take a minute, and I know some of the speakers mentioned these folks, but I want to run through a list of folks that were just completely indispensable in delivering all of this wonderful work. First, hats off to the members of the Philadelphia Police Department, the Philadelphia Fire Department, the Philadelphia Streets Department, and the Philadelphia Water Department. Unsung heroes in this whole episode. Our peers and partners at the Pennsylvania State Police, led by Colonel Paris, and the members of the Pennsylvania State Police, unbelievably supportive with the Philadelphia Police Department, with PennDOT, and all that went into this project. I want to thank Archie from Aero Aggregate. He's in the crowd somewhere. The recycled foam glass aggregate is a brainchild and product of Archie's Aero Aggregate. Archie, thank you. A shout out to the Abanizio firm for their good work. The Abanizio firm did the demolition on the bridges that collapsed. I thank Peter Abanizio and his entire team for their good work. I thank the folks at Pocono Raceway that we called on when we were thinking about trying to stripe that road when the weather wasn't cooperating. The folks at Pocono, as we all know, delivered the jet dryer, and I thank them for their support. I thank the members of the Philadelphia City Council, the Mayor's Office, everybody associated with City Hall. I thank our members of the U.S. House and Senate delegations, our State House and Senate delegations. I'll mention Representative Perry Warren is here from Bucks County, and the people in Bucks County, admittedly not Northeast Philadelphia residents, but their tolerance and their patience in delivering this project, the traffic. I thank the people in Bucks County, and Perry, thank you for being here as well. The NTSB folks that were on scene, and the Homeland Security folks, and Rich Strzelanski from Homeland Security, we became friends as a result of this project, and I thank them for their unbelievably skillful work. Benish Engineering from Pottsville, PA, wonderfully skillful, and I thank the people from Benish for their wonderful work, along with all of our other consultants that were on this job. A shout out to the New Jersey DOT, the Delaware DOT, and the Burlington County Bridge Commission for their cooperation in helping manage traffic during those 12 days. And last but not least, the wonderfully talented and capable people of PennDOT's District 6 and Philadelphia Maintenance, led by Lou Belmont, my friend, who was the district manager back in June, and his team. Just wonderfully, wonderfully capable folks who deliver for this region every day. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that the people in PennDOT do here in Philadelphia, here in southeastern Pennsylvania, with what is an unbelievably challenging assignment, and that is to deliver and maintain a transportation network that is complex and manages hundreds of thousands of vehicles every day. The Philadelphia region is well served by the PennDOT folks from District 6, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart for their wonderful, dedicated work. Lou, thank you and your team for a great job. And I'll end by thanking the media for being our partner and making sure the people of Southeast PA knew what was happening and how they could plan their commute to and from work or to the stadiums, wherever they were going. The folks in the media did a wonderfully capable job, as expected, and I thank all of you for your work. If anybody has any questions, we'll take them. So all in the project was about $20 million. That's for the construction of the temporary roadway and then the ultimate bridges that you see behind. The bulk of that money is federal money. To give you the exact number, it's about 90%, I would say. So obviously our federal partners, by their financial support, allowed PennDOT's program or delivery of projects here in Southeast PA and across the state to be unimpeded. If we had to redirect money from other projects to construct this, it would have been hurtful in other ways and in other regions. So financially, the FHWA and their role, led by Secretary Buttigieg and FHWA Director Bott, was indispensable. I'll get back to you with the exact number of man hours, but I mean, obviously the building trades folks, and you heard them, and they're proud, and they should be. They worked incredibly hard and incredibly capably, and I have so many new friends as a result of meeting the folks in the hard hats behind. I can't add to what's already been said other than to say thank you to the folks that wore the hard hats and the vests.
Can you state exactly what drivers can expect on the roadway today and tomorrow?
Okay, so the southbound lanes are restored, 4 lanes with the speed limit of 55 miles an hour. And tonight, weather permitting, we will reopen Cotman and 4 lanes northbound. We have to remove the traffic control devices that are there now, but by this time tomorrow, I have every expectation that we should have 95 fully open.
Secretary, we saw you a lot. We saw a lot of you a lot last June, right? Did you think, standing there last June, that you would be here less than a year later?
I wasn't sure. The governor pushed from the first night. The governor said that he wanted to have this project open as quickly as possible. I had done some research, and there was another state somewhere that had a bridge collapse in the southern U.S., and they opened their road in 42 days. And I said to the governor, how about 41 and a half? And he said, try and do better than that. So I'm proud of the work that's done. I'm not going to say I was surprised because I knew the talent that existed in PennDOT. I knew the talent that existed here with the contractors and the building trades and our consultants. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you I was surprised because I knew that given the opportunity, they could deliver on behalf of this region, and they did. Okay, folks, thank you so much for...
Tell us about the surface of the northbound off-ramp, how much is improved to make it less likely that a truck will speed.
So you'll see it when we reopen it tonight. There's additional traffic control devices there that will help remind drivers to slow down, to maintain safe distances. But at the end of the day, we cannot design a road that that people ignore traffic control devices or if a medical emergency occurs. So we'll do everything we can to engineer it and provide traffic control devices that minimize opportunities for accidents, and that's what we've done. Okay, thanks everyone for your support.